Do you feel like you're doing all the right marketing stuff but barely getting any traction? In this video, I'll tell you how to use AI to finally market your business in a way that feels easier, gets more attention and actually brings in results without needing a big budget or a team. Now, before we get started, can I ask one small favor? If you like what I do here, can you please hit the subscribe button? That keeps me energized to bring you more content. Thank you very much. Let's get into it. Here is tip number 1. Use AI to create high quality content in minutes. You don't need to create more content, you need to create smarter content. Most creators feel overwhelmed because they try to be on 5 different platforms at once. I would suggest that you pick one platform that your audience really likes hanging out online. So it could be Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, or even YouTube. Then use ChatGPT to turn a single idea into a week's worth of posts. Now let me give you an example. You can take one idea like how I overcame imposter syndrome and then ask the AI to turn it into a hook for a reel, a carousel script, a short tweet and a post for LinkedIn. That can all be done in about 20 minutes. Now AI is your best co-writer, but only if you talk to it like a partner and not a tool. So you can feed it your own voice notes, your DMs or even your blog rants and say something like, please rewrite this in a punchy conversational tone that sounds just like me. This is how one coach that I worked with tripled her engagement because instead of sounding like everybody else, she finally sounded just like herself. So you can ask ChatGPT to model content from accounts that your audience already follows. So you could copy a few high performing posts from similar creators and then ask AI what content pattern or emotional triggers are at play here. Then you can ask ChatGPT, how can I apply this to my niche? This is like having a marketing consultant analyze your niche's top creators in real time. Now, one of the biggest myths is that value posts always perform best. That's not always the case. Emotional, bold, story-driven content a lot of the time outperforms bullet point tips 9 times out of 10. Now let me give you a simple prompt that you can use. Here it is. Write a post that starts with a conversational opinion, controversial opinion, shares a personal story and ends with a lesson for online business owners. That is scroll stopping content. Batching content becomes 5 times easier with AI and some good templates. So you can use tools like ChatGPT, Jasper.ai or Notion AI. I recommend saving prompts that work well, like turn this YouTube video into 3 Instagram captions in a Notion document. This way you're building a smart system and not just creating content randomly. And you are likely to see some better results if you use AI to repurpose your personal stories. Now AI doesn't know your life, but you do. But if you give it one real life lesson that you learned from a client or a mistake that you made and ask it to format it into a story driven hook and a call to action, then you get some high impact posts without doing any overthinking. So think of AI as your editor in chief and not the ghost writer. You want to build content that builds a brand and not just a following. So you want to ask ChatGPT to help you define your content pillars. So you can say something like, based on my audience, this could be solopreneurs who struggle with their visibility, give me 5 unique content themes that I can rotate each week. This gives your brand more structure, more consistency and more clarity. Now one client did this and doubled her content output without feeling like she was repeating herself. Now, I've created some free training resources to show you how to build an online income source using AI. Go and click the link below in the description to learn more. Now back to the video. Let's now move on to tip number 2, which is to use AI to build powerful email campaigns that convert. Your emails probably aren't selling because they feel like lectures and not conversations. So you can ask ChatGPT, rewrite this email like I'm texting a close friend about this offer. Now the best converting emails I've seen, they sound more like quick stories and not tutorials. So let AI help you write a full 7 email nurture sequence in less than an hour. So you can use a prompt like write a 7 email series to warm up leads for a $297 course about using AI for marketing as an example. You want to focus on the fears, the objections and the transformation and then revise it then based on your tone. This alone saved one creator over 10 hours of work. AI can help you turn unsubscribes into feedback loops. So what you can do is paste in your last 5 email subject lines and then ask ChatGPT what tone or structure might be turning people off. And then say something like, how can I test subject lines that feel more human and less salesy? Small changes in tone equal big changes in trust. Now make sure that you use AI to write 2 versions of each email, one for newbies and one for warmer leads. So you could say something like, write this email for someone brand new to my world, and then write this one for someone who's clicked on my sales page but did not purchase. This is segmentation made simple and way more effective than blasting everyone with the same message. Now you can boost open rates with real life hooks. So you can ask ChatGPT, write 5 subject lines based on this story where I almost gave up on launching my first course, and then test the one that makes even you want to open it. This emotional angle helped one creator get back from 19% open rates to 42%. So you can use AI to repackage testimonials into mini emails. So you simply paste a testimonial and then ask ChatGPT, turn this into a story-driven email with a call to action to my offer. This turns social proof into content without sounding very salesy. Now one of my clients did this and saw 4 sales come from a single email that just shared a before and after transformational story. So you can build your entire email calendar with AI. So you can say something like, build me a 30-day email plan with 3 promotional emails, 4 story emails, 4 tip-based emails, and 1 personal update. And then you just need to simply tweak it. If you hate staring at a blank screen every Monday, this is your new best friend. Let's now move on to tip number 3, which is to use AI for smarter and not harder social media marketing. Your content doesn't necessarily need more reach, it just needs more reaction. So you can ask ChatGPT, write a caption that ends with a simple question that people can't ignore. This will help to turn passive viewers into active engagers. Now let me give you one example. What's one lesson that you've learned this year that no one prepares you for? Now post that and then watch the comments start to roll in. Now you can turn one blog or video into a content buffet with AI. So you can say to the AI, turn this article into a 5-tweet thread, 2 Instagram captions, and 1 short video script. And now you're multiplying your content and not creating more from scratch. One client that I worked with built an entire week of content from a single podcast episode this way. So you can just ask the AI to write the content in your exact voice using tone examples. You can say something along the lines of, use this paragraph and then paste the example as a tone sample. Now write future content with this same vibe. Funny, honest and clear. This is how creators like Ali Abdaal maintain voice consistency even with AI. Now I recommend using AI to write multiple angles for the same message. So you can take one idea like you don't need a big audience to make money, and then ask ChatGPT, write this as a tweet or an X, a personal story, a myth-busting post, and a hot take. And you'll connect with different types of followers using the same core belief. Now, do you want to be remembered? Ask AI to help you craft signature phrases or beliefs. You can simply say to ChatGPT, help me create 5 sticky phrases that capture my core marketing message. Things like, your content isn't boring, it's just hiding behind perfectionism. This makes you quotable and more shareable. You can turn F&Qs from your DMs into content. So you can paste real questions and ask ChatGPT, write answers that are short, relatable and hook-worthy for Instagram or TikTok. You're not guessing what people want, you're responding to it in real time. Now AI won't replace your voice, it will simply refine it and give it to you with better inputs. Now the secret is feeding it your tone, your stories, your examples and your positioning. The better the inputs, the more magnetic your content will become. Let's now move on to tip number 4, which is to use AI to analyze what's working and fix what's not. You can't grow what you don't measure. AI can be your growth detective. So you can ask ChatGPT, here are my last 10 posts. Which ones got the most comments and why? And ChatGPT will help you spot patterns in emotion, structure or the length. Now most creators are sitting on gold, they just don't know what made it valuable. You can use AI to spot weak spots in your sales page, So you can say something like, here's my sales copy, what parts are unclear, too long, or not emotionally compelling. So this helps you get out of your own head and see it from a buyer's perspective. Now, one client improved conversions by 30% just by tightening 3 paragraphs that AI flagged as rather vague. So you can ask the AI, where is the emotional hook missing in this offer? So this is huge. People buy based on emotion and then justify it with logic. If your page sounds like a resume and not a transformation story, then AI can help you rewrite it with some customer emotion for front and center. So you can paste in your best testimonials and let the AI extract the core transformation language. So you can say something like this to ChatGPT, what fear did this customer overcome and what result did they get, and use that to shape future offers and the copy. Now, the real voice of the customer is made up of marketing speak, so you can turn your analytics into strategy. So you can feed AI your content data. You can export this from Meta, TikTok, or even YouTube Studio, and then ask ChatGPT what topics or formats led to the most engagement or conversions. This helps you to double down on what's already working instead of chasing shiny tactics. You can use AI to compare your content versus your competitors. So you could paste 2 posts, yours and theirs, into ChatGPT and then say to ChatGPT, compare these in tone, clarity and impact. What does theirs do better? And then now you're learning exactly what your audience might be responding to elsewhere. AI won't grow your business, but the clarity it gives you absolutely can help you do that. So you can use the AI to reflect, to refine and repeat what's working. It's your personal strategist in your pocket. Let me now give you tip number 5, which is to use AI to craft a unique personal brand that stands out. The thing that you might not realise is your personal brand already exists. It just needs clearer language. Now, most people think a brand is about logos or colour palettes. It's really not. It's the feeling that you leave behind after someone sees your content. So you can ask ChatGPT, based on this content, and then paste in a few posts or your about section, how would you describe my tone, personality and positioning? And you'll be surprised at how accurate and how helpful it really is. Now, if you want your brand to feel more personal, start with some stories and not strategies. So you can just say to ChatGPT, ask me 10 questions that would uncover powerful personal stories related to my business journey, and then just answer them like you're talking to a friend. Now, these become your brand roots, things that are uniquely you. Now, one creator I helped did this and uncovered a story about being the first in her family to start a business, and now it's the heart of her brand. Now, one of the biggest myths is that you need to niche down before you find your voice. I actually suggest that you explore your voice before you narrow down your niche. You can use AI to explore 3 different angles of your personality, your hot takes, your favourite metaphors and your most used phrases. But then you can just say to ChatGPT, please write me 3 bio options for a creator who's bold, who's honest and focused on helping people to start online businesses. And you'll get some good clarity that a 5k brand strategist would charge for. Now, do you want your brand to sound consistent everywhere online? Use AI to build a tone of voice guide. You can say to the AI, write me a 1-page tone of voice guide based on this caption and this sales email, and include common phrases I use, like my writing style and how I talk to my audience. Now, when you write emails, captions, scripts or sales pages, they all feel like you, even if AI helps you with the draft. The reason most creators feel rather stuck is they're mimicking instead of refining. So you can just ask ChatGPT, who are 3 creators in my niche I sound like, and how can I differentiate myself? Then go one step further and say, what's one belief or value I have that goes against the mainstream? That's how you can create brand loyalty, by standing for something real. Now, let me give you one example. One business owner that I coached leaned into the idea that slow business is smart business, and her audience tripled. You can turn your quirks into your calling card using AI. So maybe you curse, maybe you love 90s references, maybe you speak in metaphors. So you can ask ChatGPT, help me turn these quirks into content hooks and brand taglines. This is how real creators really stand out. Let me give you an example. A copywriter that I worked with turned her love of horror movies into a whole brand metaphor, scaring bad copy away. Her DMs blew up after doing this. So if your content feels rather flat, use AI to create your own brand story framework. You can say to ChatGPT something like, create a short origin story using this info, who I help, why I care, what I believe, and what makes my approach different. Then just ask the AI to rewrite it into a pinned post, a video script, and a podcast intro. Now you're turning your why into wow and making it very easy for people to connect with you. Let's now move on to tip number 6, which is to use AI to automate the boring marketing stuff. I suggest that you automate your content repurposing first because you're already sitting on some gold. If you've written a good email, a strong tweet or an X, or a popular post, you don't need to keep reinventing the wheel. You can simply ask ChatGPT, turn this into a carousel for Instagram, a script for a short video, and a LinkedIn post written in a more professional tone. Now, one coach that I worked with used this strategy and went from posting once a week to 5 times a week without creating any new content, and saw a 3 times jump in their engagement levels. Now, if you want more time and your energy back, you can automate the first draft of everything you do. Emails, captions, video scripts, and product descriptions. You don't need to write all of that from scratch. What I do is I voice note my raw ideas and then say to ChatGPT, turn this voice note into a friendly, high converting caption in my style. You'll still need to edit it, so you do not want to skip this part, but it's like having a creative intern who works 24/7 and never complains. Now, to help you stop repeating yourself in the DMs, you can build a personal AI reply library. This is a game changer. So you can start copying your most common questions, such as what tool do you use for X? How do I start with Y? And then ask ChatGPT to write you 3 authentic sounding replies to this question that match my personality. Then you want to just keep them in a Google document or a Notion page. Now, when someone asks, you copy, tweak and send, and you sound personal without spending 10 minutes replying to each one. Now, a smart way for you to save time with email marketing is to build AI assisted nurture sequences. Now, most people write one email and ghost their email list. I suggest asking AI, write me a 5-part nurture sequence that tells my story, shares my values and leads into my offer. You'll get a foundation that you can edit in your own voice. Now, one client of mine did this, and instead of cold pitching, she started getting replies like, this really hit home, how can I work with you? The key thing is to keep a repeat task list and start replacing one by one with AI workflows. Now, I would suggest that you start simple, things like summarizing YouTube videos, turning podcasts into quotes, or writing a rough caption from bullet points. You don't need to do it all at once, just automate 1 to 2 repetitive things per week. Now, you'll feel the stress drop fast. I did this for just one launch and saved 8+ hours in a week. Now, if you struggle with the consistency, use AI to set up your weekly marketing routine. So you can just ask ChatGPT, create a 5-day weekly marketing calendar for my online business, including daily actions, content themes, and prompts. Then what you can do is you can turn that into a repeatable checklist inside Notion or Trello. Now, instead of waking up overwhelmed, you've now got a solid plan and your output triples without the burnout. Now, don't forget to use the tools that are already built for automation and not just ChatGPT. Try tools like Content at Scale for blog post automation, Descript for editing videos with AI, Jasper for content creation generation, or Zapier to connect all of your tools. These are like invisible teammates that do the grunt work so you can focus on the strategy, the relationships, and the offers. Let me now give you tip number 7, which is to use AI to build trust that turns followers into buyers. I suggest that you use AI to turn your audience's objections into empathy-driven messaging. You can ask ChatGPT, give me 10 reasons why someone in my audience might hesitate to buy my offer, and write a short story or example that reassures them without pushing them. For example, one client of mine was worried her coaching wasn't worth the price, so we used this prompt and turned it into a carousel series called What I Wish I Knew Before I Invested in Myself. And she didn't just get engagement, she got booked out for 6 solid weeks. If you want people to buy, you have to show them themselves inside your offer, not just the features. This is where AI becomes incredibly powerful. So you can ask ChatGPT, break down my offer and write 3 different customer stories, one for someone who's just starting out, one for someone who's stuck, and one for someone who's scaling. You'll start speaking their language, and that's when people say, it feels like you're in my head. That's not magic, that's just messaging that mirrors reality. Now, to help you do this, build an offer clarity script with AI so your value is crystal clear in 60 seconds or less. Now, too many people over-explain their offers and lose people. So you can ask ChatGPT, write me a 1-minute pitch that explains what my offer does, who it is for, and what makes it different to the others, without using any buzzwords. This becomes your voice note, your pin post, and your LinkedIn headline. And once it's typed, people finally get what you do. Now, one creator told me this alone led to more replies in 24 hours than she got all month. Now, don't forget to use social proof, but reframe it into believable transformation, not hype. Instead of saying, I helped this client 10 times their income, which people tune out. Say something like, this client went from being scared to post online to launching their first mini offer in just 3 weeks. Here's how we used AI to map out her launch content in 1 afternoon. Now, you can use AI to help write that story with this prompt. Tell this transformation story in a humble, relatable way that highlights the emotional change more than the money. Wow, that's it for this one. 7 powerful tips that you can start using right away. Now, if you're serious about building your online business and creating a sustainable online income, take the next step now. Click the link below in the description or in the comments and go through to my website where you can find some free training resources to help you get started right away. These free step-by-step resources are designed to guide you through launching a successful online business and generating online income streams. So don't wait, take action today. Click the link below and start your journey right now. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It really does energize and motivate me to create more content for you. Thank you very much indeed. And if you want to connect on social, you can find me on LinkedIn and Instagram. The links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel, and have a wonderful day.